Dear channel, I'm sorry, I just want to say sorry because all of the videos I've made have actually been ready for when they're supposed to be up, but I've had a problem with editing. So, like, my editing software won't let me upload it for some reason. I'm working on it, so I've done this entire thing in one take. So yeah, I'm doing the same as Louisa did. I'm just basically recommending books for her. I've got quite a few to do, but I've had to cut some of them out because I ran out of memory. But just, here they are. First one is one of two books in this list that I'm going to say you have to read, and I will follow it up and I will check you've read them. Is this one. It makes you think, it really made me think just about the frailty of life and tomorrows. I'll read the blurb. Tamara Goodwin has always lived in the here and now, never giving a second thought to tomorrow, until a travelling library arrives in her tiny village, bringing with it a mysterious large leather-bound book, locked with a gold clasp and padlock. What she discovers within the pages takes her breath away and shakes her world to its core, a mesmerising story about how tomorrow can change what happened today. It's such a good book. I've got all of her books, and you should really read them all. But I'm going to recommend this one because it's my favourite book ever, I think. Whenever I think of what's my favourite book, I don't think of this. But going through all my books, looking for them for this, I realised how much I love this book. I've read all except two of her books, which I'm partway through. And the thing I love about them is they seem so realistic, like it could happen. But then it changes, but by that point you're already so into the book, you believe it anyway. Just read it. Read all of them, but specifically this one. If you don't read any of her other books, I won't kill you. But if you don't read this one, I might. So just read this. It's called The Book of Tomorrow by Cecilia Ahern. The other one I'm going to recommend that you have to read is not this book, but it's by Jodi Picoult, and I don't actually have my copy of The Pact, which is the book I want to recommend. It's like all of Jodi Picoult's books that I've read are very good, very sad. She wrote My Sister's Keeper, but The Pact, which I really want to read, I've got the blurb on here. So, the Hearts and the Golds have lived next door to each other for 18 years. They've shared everything, from family picnics to chickenpox. So it's no surprise that in high school, Chris and Emily's friendship blossoms into something more. When the midnight call comes from the hospital, no one is prepared. Emily is dead at 17 from a gunshot wound to the head, inflicted by Chris as part of an apparent suicide pact. He tells the police the next bullet was meant for himself. A local detective has her doubts, and the Hearts and Golds must face every parent's worst nightmare in question. Do we ever really know our children at all? It's the one, not the one book, but one of the few books that has made me sob. You know how difficult it is for fiction to make me cry, but just was such a sad book. Another book I'm going to recommend to you is this one. It's not a really deep, meaningful book. It's by Sophie Kinsella. It's a laugh. I'm not going to say you have to read it. It may not even be the kind of thing you'd enjoy. It's not the kind of thing even I'd normally enjoy. But I read it on holiday because I had nothing else to read, and for some reason I think I found it in a charity shop while I was on holiday and decided to pick it up and buy it. But seriously, it's a laugh. If you're on holiday, just give it a go. The blurb isn't particularly interesting either, but it's just a good book. It'll make you laugh, and basically she tells all of her secrets to a stranger on a plane who turns out not to be a stranger. So give that one a try. I've got 3 more, and if I have time, a couple more. But, The Secret Speech. You read Child 44, this is the sequel. Just basically carries on. A society trying to recover from a time when the police were corrupt and the innocent arrested as criminals. Detective Leo Demodov, former secret police officer, is forced to ask whether the wrongs of the past can ever be forgiven. Trying to solve a series of brutal murders that grip the capital, he must decide if this is savagery or justice. Quickly it becomes apparent that Leo himself and his family are in danger from someone intent on revenge. Desperate to save those he loves, he was offered salvation from an unexpected source at a terrible price. From the streets of Moscow in the throes of a political upheaval, from the Siberian gulags and the Hungarian uprising in the Budapest, The Secret Speech is a breathtaking King novel that confirms that Tom Rob Smith as one of the most exciting authors writing today. From Child 44, you will say he's exciting. And it's just wonderful. It's not as good as Child 44, I wouldn't say. Or, like, the ending's not as good. But the ending from Child 44 is literally unbeatable. You will justify that. Justify, that's the wrong word, but yeah. And so if you haven't read either of them and you're watching this, just read them and then comment below and tell me what you think. I can't do a book thing without telling you. I'm pretty sure you want to read it anyway. I have all 11 of them. They're the Doctor Who books that came out for the 50th anniversary. This is the first Doctor, because I'm reading them in order. I'm being good. But, yeah. Deep in the heart of a hollowed-out moon, the first Doctor finds a chilling secret. 10 alien corpses, frozen in time at the moment of their death. They're the Empire's most wanted terrorists, and their discovery could end a war devastating the galaxy. But is the same force that killed them still lurking in the dark? And what are its plans for the people of Earth? If you like Doctor Who, read them. If you don't, clearly don't. But if you like Doctor Who, which Louisa, I know you do, then read them. And finally, this. I bought it in a charity shop again on holiday. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. Otherwise I wouldn't have kept it. Because I got this, must have been 3 or 4 years ago. It won the best crime novels of 2000. But it's a girly book, and it's like a chick flick book. But at the same time, it's a crime novel. So it's kind of my two personalities coming in to make this book. So, I'll read you the blurb. When a Fire Force's TV newswoman, Robin Hudson, to vacate her apartment, she and her cat, Louise Bryant, move into the legendary Chelsea Hotel, the bohemian hostelry where artists, both famous and infamous, have long lived in semi-peaceful coexistence, with countless hangers-on, wannabes and rubbernecks looking for the real New York. When a smoky-eyed man Robin has just met dies in an apartment, in an apparent suicide, she's not so sure. Could it be murder? Maybe even the last word in a performance art? Is it related in some way to the star-crossed and rather irritable young lovers who've appealed to Robin for help? To sort it out, Robin must brave the whole downtown thing, and more. Guerrilla artists, jealous women, brooding poets, feuding magicians, art forgers, befuddled terrorists. Oh, and plus one, final, terrible complication. Robin seems to have fallen accidentally in love. Will Robin get the bad guy, the good guy? Both? It was amazing. I think I've read it 3 times now. Just because it's light-hearted and fun. But it's also got that twist, which I love in a book. You know I love that in a book. And also, if you haven't read it yet, I know you have it on your bookshelf. If you haven't read it yet, read Forbidden. Come on, you have it on your bookshelf. It's more than can be said for me. I had it on my Kindle. Read Forbidden. That's the next one you have to read after the Book of Tomorrow. My favourite book. And yes, I will have another video up by next Sunday, and hopefully I will have my introduction up soon. So I'm really sorry about all this and the complications, but it should hopefully be sorted soon. This video was 20 minutes long, so I bet it's going to be really short now. Bye! Love you!